Blindish Latina YouTube channel. Remember that I am a full-time traveler. I don't know if everyone knows this, but it is really hard to change accommodations all the time. Sometimes my partner and I will be in a place for 1 week, 2 weeks. The longest we've done this year has been a month in the same accommodations. With a lot of transitions, being disabled, it means it takes me a lot of energy to adapt to every new place that we're in, whether that's the inside part or the outside part, whether, the neighborhood, all of those things. So in order to reduce that stress on me, my partner and I have come up with a standard procedure for how we get oriented to a new accommodation, whether that's a hotel or an apartment. And so today we thought it would be really cool to show you how we do it. And we actually just got to Budapest, Hungary. I've never been to Budapest, I've never been to Hungary. This is a completely new country. We rented an apartment, so this is the accommodation style that we're gonna have for these 2 weeks. How do we get set up? How do I ensure my safety, which is really important to me? And the quicker that we can feel comfortable, the quicker we can make it feel like home, the quicker we can start having fun. So let's go. We're here. Okay, this is a perfect corner for my cane. I always look for a corner near the front. The other thing that I look for is organization. So we've already spotted right here some hooks. This is great for our bags, our hats, or whatever else we need to put, because I don't want clutter. So the hooks are amazing. We also noticed here there's a shoe mat. Yay! Shoe-free living is where it's at, much cleaner. So we'll probably keep like 1 to 2 pairs each of shoes here. But let's check out this apartment. This is so cute. I really love modern apartments that are spacious, because then there are less obstacles, usually less things for me to possibly trip over. I don't like apartments with dark walls, because then it kind of reduces the light in the space. I feel like the walls absorb the light. So the first thing we're gonna do is look for light switches and outlets. I'm gonna go through the apartment. The first thing I noticed was the bathroom. So over here, I'm just like, I don't know what this light does. So I just start testing them. I'm hearing like a little bit of it. This was the mirror, and this was the top. So now I know light switches are outside of the bathroom. Sometimes it's hard to find them. This apartment, I think, was maybe recently renovated, so it's not that hard. Okay, now we're gonna come look for obstacles. So I'm gonna look for how I get in the bathroom. It looks like there's a small step. That's not gonna be a problem for me, I don't think. The other thing that can be confusing is how you turn on the water. Oh, it's just a turn handle. And then maybe that button below the handle changes the water to where it comes out. Okay, yeah, because I just saw up here, there's maybe a rain shower, and then on more in the center, a wand. Okay, that's very easy. Everything is well laid out. This is trash, toilet. I never know if this one means more water comes out. There is a laundry machine, a washing machine behind here. Okay, I just noticed this shelf. That can be good for putting things that we need, and I like these drawers. This is great. We're gonna fully unpack here. And then the water is very easy too, just one handle. Let's move on. Normally when we do this, my partner is right next to me, helping me find light switches. So it's not necessarily me finding them all the time, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just kind of discovering them, I guess. So I just noticed this white one here. I don't know what it does, so I'm gonna try it. Okay, this is the hallway. Okay, and then I just noticed over here, there's one too. It's the same. So now I know both of these are for this area. As soon as I come in, I can give myself light there. I think I saw some over here. Okay. Okay, this happens a lot, but I do it many times. Okay, this is over the dining table. Outlets while I'm here. We have 2 outlets here. This is one of the easier apartments to find everything. Not too bad. Okay, I see 2 there, but I think that's good for the kitchen. Now I'm gonna look over here for more light switches. So I think on this wall, oh, that's also for the front. That's odd. Okay. I was not expecting that to go all the way over there. Now this one Nothing's happening that I see. This is the main line of the living room. There's an overhead light here and overhead light here. Now that it's getting dark and it's getting to be nighttime, I'm feeling like the lighting might not be as bright as I wanted, but I see this other lamp here that I'll have to learn how to turn on. So we'll go find that out. And I'm now seeing a little desk lamp. There's a little switch on the side for this lamp. So that means there has to be an outlet. A power strip, very good. There's one on this wall, but I don't think it's very usable because it's by a wall. If we're gonna charge something, the cord would have to extend over here. So it depends on what we're doing. I think I see the switch. I love when things are easy. You don't have to go up in here. Where's the light switch? Where's the light switch? Yes. Okay. We also have a balcony. I don't know if you saw it. It's small, but there's tables, a little table, 2 chairs, and there is a rack on the left where we're going to be hanging all of our laundry because we have to do laundry for 2 weeks of travel. And there's some kind of maybe AC unit out there. I am also noticing here's the air conditioner. That's important because I have to know where to aim the remote. Doesn't work unless you aim it correctly. Okay, we're going to the bedroom. I see 2 light switches here. This is the main one. I do not see this one doing anything. Okay. Again, I don't know why these are just on the wall over here, not next to the nightstands. 2 lights, outlets, sorry. And I see here on this bed frame, these lights, this is pretty good contrast. The switch is black and it looks different than the metal. These are reading lamps, but I'll use this just to see my stuff when my partner's sleeping. I don't have to always use a flashlight on my phone. Under the shelf. Oh! Yay! That's a good one. Okay. And then I know that there's nothing else here other than like a closet, I think. Okay, so I think that concludes light switches and outlets. Now let's look for obstacles. I already kind of looked in the bathroom and I didn't see, but I'm gonna take one more look at the bathroom. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for sharp corners, things that if I bend down, I could hit my head on, or things that are kind of unexpected in a pathway that I could trip over. Those are the kinds of things we're looking for. I feel like this is pretty standard. There's nothing really coming out. I just feel like this bathroom is not going to surprise me. I don't think I would put my head all the way back and hit this shelf, but it's good to be aware that that shelf is on the wall. All right, let's go to the kitchen. Looking for obstacles. This is awesome. Like there's nothing blocking my walking path. This is not really raised enough that I would trip on it, but it's good to be aware of this border. I don't see a dishwasher. Sometimes that is a big obstacle if someone leaves it down. I actually have a big scar on my leg from when I left the dishwasher door down, went to the other room and came back and forgot that it was down, and I totally wiped out. And I could have hurt myself even worse than that. I didn't hurt myself that bad considering. What is going on with this? This is a shelf. Okay, this is a little bit weird. I don't think I would be so close to the sink that I would bang here, but it's kind of like a thin shelf with a weird corner. So maybe this corner actually could be, it's kind of pointy. Oh, the hood as well. Okay, I see. Because I love tea, so I'll be over here making tea. I don't want to bump my head on this corner either. These are good corners to be aware of. Also, these stoves, I have gone to Europe so many times, and for the life of me, I do not understand these ovens. The oven part is so difficult. The stove, I think I got it. That's a fun fact about me. So the other thing in terms of obstacles that I just always am doing is try to put my things to the side. So my backpack, I put it over here in the corner. There's not really a chance that I'm gonna walk and trip over the backpack because it's in a corner. I also asked my partner to put his stuff over here. So I'm not really gonna go past the line of the desk. So that's another way that we ensure safety, and we try to have homes for things so they're not just strewn about. All right, let's talk about this table. The table has an interesting design. From the top, I can see the whole square of it, but over here it's open. But I still think my mind will interpret this as a full square. The one thing I am thinking is that the color of the table is close to the color of the floor. Right now, I'm very with it. I'm not tripping on this, but who knows if I'm tired or it's darker in here. This could be an obstacle as well. So I just have to be mindful of that. Here, I will comment on the TV. Sometimes we go to places where the TV is mounted on the wall and it kind of tips forward at an angle. This TV is not mounted in that way, and there's something in front of it that extends more. This extends more. So I'm not going to have any issues with the TV. I would have an issue being under this shelf, but I don't know what reason I would have to be under this shelf doing something. Maybe I'm charging something, like we talked about extending to here. Maybe I think this is a great charging shelf, and then I could come up and hit. That's very possible. Maybe this is not my charging area. I've been alerted of this plan. I don't think this is really an obstacle because I don't think I'm going to use this corner, but sometimes when I brush on something, or I get really anxious, like, what was that? Yeah, just noticing that this plant is a little big. Okay, the couch doesn't have anything sharp. I think it's pretty good. Sometimes actually on chairs like this, I will trip over whatever part is extending from the bottom more. This is pretty close to the line of the back. It doesn't stick out that much more, but something to be aware of. All right, I noticed the corners on here. I don't know what I would put under, but I have to be really careful with floating shelves like that. That's just something I would have to take into consideration. I don't think anything else is going to be a problem. One of the things on our list is we pick the size of the bed, and we kind of have a shortcut for doing this. I take the side that has more space next to it, and it's usually closer to the bathroom. In this room, it's pretty narrow going over to that side. So that's not going to be my side. Automatically, we know this is going to be my side of the bed. So if you have a specific side of the bed that you can fall asleep on, this won't work for you. But I become very flexible. I can sleep on either side. So this is going to be my side of the bed. That's another thing we're going to be doing. How can we get the suitcases out? Because we can fully unpack here, find a place to store them. Checking the checklist, which I am putting right here for you to look at. We've already looked at all the light switches, the outlets. We've talked about the home base for the bags and the shoes. Obstacles. What we haven't done yet is gone into the cabinets of the kitchen and really looked at what we have already, oils and spices. That helps us then to make a shopping list for what we can cook, what we can make while we're here, what we need to buy. The workstations is another big one that we'll go over. And then of course, unpacking and dividing up the drawers or the storage spaces and just making that really clear. So let's do the workstations. Okay, so workstations. I'm not just a full-time traveler on vacation all the time. I'm working remotely, running my business as a public speaker, DIA consultant, and content creator. One of the reasons we picked it is because it has a desk and it has this table. So that creates two workstations. Now, in order for us to have sound barriers when someone has a meeting, we actually need to be in separate rooms. So we noticed that this desk looked really easy to move. So after we filmed this video, this desk is actually going to be in the bedroom. And there's an outlet way there by the suitcases where, the person working there can plug everything in. And we figure that's going to work well. We'll just close the bedroom door. And then I usually work at the table, but sometimes we switch off. So that's how we'll set up two workstations in two different rooms with a door between them. I will look at all the photos to make sure there's a door. Because sometimes you think there's a door to the bedroom and there's not. Or it's not a real door. Maybe there's a curtain or some kind of divider. So if this is really important to you, you have to kind of make sure and ensure that. And if I'm not being sure, I've been able to write a message. But there was one place in Colombia that I assumed it looked like a great study. And come to find out, it just didn't have any door at all. We made it work, but yeah, that's workstations. This is Katarina from the future, updating you all now that we've used this apartment for a little bit, that we actually got something a little bit wrong when we talked about the different workspaces and how we had a perfect setup here because there was a desk that we could put in the bedroom and then close the door for a sound barrier. What we failed to notice completely when booking this apartment is that there's only one air conditioning unit, only one AC unit, and it's here in the living room, the main room with the kitchen table. So we can't close that door if my partner wants to be cool. It's just something that we didn't anticipate, but we completely, we always adapt. And that's something you have to do when you're a full-time traveler. You have to be able to adapt to different situations all the time. One thing that I did remember is last summer we dealt with a similar situation in an apartment in Italy because there was an AC unit in the living room and there was an AC unit in the bedroom. It had many rooms and the kitchen didn't have AC. The air did not reach from the living room to the kitchen because the unit was like on an inside wall that blew this way. And so there was no kind of passageway for that air to reach the kitchen. So there were times that I was working in the kitchen, oh my gosh, drenched in sweat. We've adapted. It's not such a big deal. Thankfully, Budapest is a pretty cool city. The heat wave has dissipated and it's not that hot. One thing that's not on the SOP but that we have to do all the time is make sure the fridge is working. But we had a situation in Portugal where the fridge was not working and they were trying to make us feel like we were wrong. But we were right, it wasn't working. We had to change apartments. Ooh, it feels cold. We're in business. That is good. Freezer. I don't know, I guess it's cold, but it's not like that cold. So now we're gonna see what we have. Up on the shelf that I mentioned before, it says pepper, salt, sugar. I'm wondering if those are the only things we have in terms of spices, but we'll see. Okay, I see cups. Oh, I love this. I love that they're standing up and they're not upside down. If you don't know this already, I have some anxiety and a little bit about germs, so I don't want it touching the cabinet shelf. I'm like, when's the last time you cleaned that? So this looks good to me. We have some little glasses. I do not find a cup like this the most comfortable. Your finger has to do so much work. I like a bigger handle, but we're staying here 2 weeks, we'll make it work. All right, so we have that. Got some cups. Over here, silverware. This is very logical. Looks nice. All right, what is this? Oh, it's this side. This looks like coasters and placemats and things like that. And there's a colander, so for making pasta. All right, now below this sink, I'm expecting cleaning stuff. Trash can, yep. Trash can, trash bags. This is a sponge, we have a dish bag, we have this rack. It's very small, the drying rack. I think this is to make some coffee, but you use these pods. Whoa, I don't even know what I'm doing. This is the oven and the stove. So like I said earlier, I know how to do this. I know how to push on and then you push plus and minus on the burner. So I'm gonna just notice the size of the burner. This is small?
That's small, the one in the back right's medium, back left small.
It's also small? Less, and then this is big?
Yes.
Okay. Oven has a tray in there. I guess that comes with it. And then this looks like temperature in Celsius. And this looks like maybe function. Like you can put the light on. Okay, but then these are the different ways you can cook. All right, that's actually easier than one that we had in Italy. I'm understanding that. Okay, we got some plates and some bowls in the back. Little bowls though for us. And then I'm seeing 2 frying pans, a saucepan, maybe another saucepan in the back, and then a bigger pot, and a tiny cutting board. A little tricky. And then up here we have a microwave. The top says function. It just got like lines and drawings and things. On the bottom has, I think that's minutes. I'm thinking, putting things up, getting things down. I like it more to be at waist level. We don't really use the toaster, we could switch it. That's another thing we do. We move around furniture when necessary, or to make things safer. So this is an example of something we could easily make this switch. As long as my kettle fits, okay? We need my kettle to fit, or we might move the kettle over here, and then we have the coffee and tea station together. So I think that is going to work well. Let's check out the kettle. One thing I'll need to note is if this heats up or not. I've had some that are completely metal, or even tea kettles that you put on the stove, and that is dangerous. Another thing that my partner taught me is that sometimes these are dirty inside. Ooh, looks okay to me. Could use a little descaling. And now I'm seeing they have these little indicators. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if I'd be able to use those to judge like how high the water is, but We are in business. We've done the kitchen. Notice this on our way in. Little obstacle. I went outside earlier by myself and I went to a cafe, but I had some trouble in the elevator. Let me show you. This I also actually had trouble with on the way out. There we go. So when we get in the elevator, you'll notice that, well, maybe you can see. I can't see the numbers on the elevator. And I was wearing my sunglasses because it was very bright right outside of our apartment, which made it worse. I was scanning over here, and then I was like, is this something? Is this something? I really can't see anything here. Now that I know the numbers are here, I can see it ever so slightly. This is not good color contrast at all. This is not accessible. Even just to find a button is easier, I think, when it's raised, when you actually have a button that you can push. So these kinds of digital displays can be super difficult. I also didn't know how to get into the building. There's something where you have to swipe or, activate. I don't know. Because I didn't know where the numbers were. I went into the elevator. I was looking, and I gave up. And I said, I'll just wait until it moves. Somebody has to leave the building. And then it started moving. And a few people came in and they pushed the buttons. And then once it lights up red, I could see it. So I was like, okay, they pushed 0. And then I left. And then I couldn't figure out how to get out. So I was just like this. I came over here and I was like, pulling the handle doesn't work. And then one of them pushed the button. The other thing that we noticed, and we actually updated our SOP, so this is breaking news, is that we realized we should always do an inventory of toilet paper, paper towels, and trash bags when we arrive to a place. Because it has been a common trend, I don't know why, for apartments not to provide enough for our entire stay. Even if we're staying for a month or 2 weeks. We had 3 rolls of toilet paper. They were really small, 2 trash bags, and no paper towels. Doing that inventory and having it on our SOP now, because we've added it, will help us incorporate that into our beginning shopping trip and just to have it for our stay. The best situation or the best solution would be for hosts to simply provide that to us, and we're happy to pay a little more. But for some reason, that's not what they have been doing. Thank you for doing this apartment tour, accommodations tour with me, Stigma Smasher. I hope it just helped you see how I adapt when I'm traveling, what are some strategies that help me as a disabled traveler. Even though I'm deafblind, you can make your own list of things that you need to think about or prep for, the things that always come up. One thing that's not on the checklist that we just talked about, my partner and I, is the speed test. Because we are working remotely, we need to know that that internet works. And that is something that I have also been doing when we get into a new apartment. So all you gotta do is sign up to the Wi-Fi, run an app that checks the speed, and if there is an issue, it's really nice. You can take a screenshot and show that to the person that you need to complain to. They can't argue with that. That's real data. We are hungry in Hungary, so we need to go get some dinner right now and start relaxing. Hasta la próxima! Bye! If you want to see more videos on inclusive and accessible travel, subscribe to Blindish Latina and let me know all your questions in the comments, and I will see you next time.